Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm very pleased to introduce today's third demo of the day with Get Control Webinars, the human side of AI, building resilience through change. Mike Song of Get Control is going to guide us through this demo. And fun fact, Mike is fresh off of performing at the Moth radio show this weekend in front of a live audience of 1,200 people. And I just told him I hope it turns into a Moth podcast episode so that we all get to hear it. And Lisa Rivera will be joining us as well. She's going to be here in the chat to help answer questions. So say hi to Lisa, and I'm going to pass it over to Mike so he can take it away.
All right, fantastic. I am going to bring up my screen here. Thanks so much, Alexandria. And you should be able to see my screen now, and we will be off and running. Welcome, everybody. My name's Mike Sung. We are here to help you with the top 10 AI tips. I want to make sure I can see all your fun comments in the chat. So if you can hear me loud and clear, everybody type a Y for yes, I can hear you, Mike, into the chat right now. Let's make sure we're coming through loud and clear. Oh, I love it when we have a great group like this that responds so fast. Well, that's what ATD is all about, isn't it? So let's get started here. We used to say that we save people 15 days a year with our training. And now since we've been doing AI training all around the world, it's more like 30 days. That would be saving people an hour a day would equate to a 30-day time saving. It's pretty amazing when you think about the time that we're in. And yeah, I just got done with doing this program. And thank you, Alexandria, for mentioning the Moth. Really was like the capstone. I know we're all like learning and development people here. For me, it was one of the capstones of my public speaking career. It was an incredible experience. And if you ever want to know a little bit more about it, I'm always here for you. You know, we always say if there's follow-up questions or people want to know a little more, you can always get to us at info@getcontrol.net. I just popped it into the chat box as well. All right, let's get into our topic here today, which is going to be all about AI. And we will absolutely be giving away a free digital copy of one of our best-selling books here today at the end of the performance. And if everyone participates, we give it to everybody, which I know everyone will participate here because we've got such a great group. Another tradition that I use for all of the roughly 300 webinars I do per year, I love it when people can type a W into the chat box. If you see something that's new and useful for you, that you think could help you get more done. This is how we create a tremendous amount of interaction, and feel free to steal my idea and try it with your any audience you're with. You're going to be amazed at how much more interaction you get. We love to think that we're helping lots of folks get better. And one of our favorite things to do is help L&D professionals become better at presenting with all of these kind of cool virtual presentation tips and tricks. And the way I think about AI, it's my new digital assistant. It is going to save me an hour a day. That is a huge amount of time. That's always my goal. So it's not bad to frame this whole thing of making it all about the most important person in the world, right? You, and you. So when you have this digital assistant working for you, the idea here is that we want to optimize, maximize what we do with it. And after all, it took, 84 months for the internet to reach 100 million users. It took 48 months for Facebook, and hopefully you're seeing all this on my screen. Let me know if you're not every once in a while. I'm not projecting. And then it took 2 months for ChatGPT to reach 100 million users. So it's absolutely a historic milestone. There will never be a time like this again in our lives where this type of groundbreaking thing is going to happen. This is the exponential growth in computing power curve that you really need to look at. This is 2024, 2025, and look what happens in 26, 27, and 2028. So everything about AI is going to get better, smarter, and faster, and that's why we can't ignore it. We got to jump into it. And listen, I've been doing we do an assessment of people's digital skills, and we know that there's in HR and learning and development, we tend to be people. And I think now is a great time to do stuff like we're doing today. Really lean on, hey, maybe I can boost my TQ. We call it Tech Quotient. It's a whole assessment process that we do to help people get better, faster, and faster further with their digital skills. Okay, I promised you 10 tips, so I'm going to start rocking now. I can see all the W's going by, so I feel right at home with my peeps, my learning and development, HR-driven folks. So this is a really fun presentation, rewarding for me as well. It's been a great week. So the first tip that I have is to become an AI template ace. I really want you to think about how are you going to create your templates? How are you going to replicate those prompts, right? It's all about the prompts. but we're going to get busy fast. So we want to make sure that we are getting super smart with how we create our prompts. All right. So one of the coolest things that you can do, and basically every person who's on Microsoft 365 should have a free AI account, their free version of Microsoft Copilot. And so I want to show you how you can integrate a great little tool called Collections with creating your prompts so you have them when you need them, where you need them. We love the idea of making navigation easy in every aspect of your life. So here we are looking at a little button right here in the Microsoft Edge browser. If you don't see it there, if you click on the three-dot button, one of our TQ tips is click on every three-dot button and scroll down to Collections here. If you right-click, you can add it to the toolbar, and you could also take something off the toolbar here. So this is a great little tech tip. What is Collections, Mike? Well, it's where I store my templates. And here you can see a lot of my prompts here. And you can see I also teach a class on Copilot. So I have Copilot class prompts here that allow me to do stuff really, really fast, really quick. So for example, here's a prompt to create a survey, right? And so when I'm teaching, I want to have this prompt ready real fast. And so I can see this prompt here. I just created it. I'm going to show you how I created it. Then I'm going to use that actual prompt from the class, okay? So basically all I did was I clicked on Start New Collection right here. So I clicked on Collections, Start New Collection, and then there's a little new button right here. You click this, and then you just paste your prompt in there, right? So we want to be thoughtful about our prompts. What will save us time, boost our productivity, help us roll? So here's how it works for me both in real life when I'm creating course descriptions for all of our Get Control classes, or when I'm in this particular class. I'll say, okay, now that we've created this, here's your survey prompt. You pop this in here like that. Click 3 times, it will highlight all, or you can highlight it. So I just click 3 times once I've created it. I hit Control C. I then go over here to the universal free-for-all Copilot prompt button there, right? And then I put my mouse in here and I do Control V. It's just a copy and paste from the closest possible place to store those prompts. I hit the send, and all of a sudden it's going to create that survey for me. So there you go. It's creating a wonderful survey. We do a scenario based on you work for a Bluetooth headset company that's really got a big order in hand. It's really fun, but you can see how fast it's creating that survey. So think about utilizing your collections as your prompt. Now, I know there's some folks out there who are like, I want to take it even a step further, Mike. I want to maybe even go even deeper into this. So I'm just going to pop out of the PowerPoint here and show you one other tool that I really like a lot. So this tool is called Text Expander, and it's essentially a template building tool, which I used to just use for templates all the time. And you could very easily create templates. I won't go into the whole description of it because we don't have that much time, but here's an example of a class description. And all you do is you create an abbreviation to trigger that class description. So if I was inside of an AI tool, whether it was Copilot or Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT, I know that if I hit the semicolon and CD, it pops. I don't know if you saw that. It pops that prompt in there. And so it says create a class description for Get Control of, let's say, Excel, because we do a lot of Excel training. And who is it? Maybe this is for financial services. See how I'm filling it in like a form? Services, pros. The goal is to save 15 minutes a day. And, there you go. So it's like an Excel class. There you go. I'm sure there's more I could fill in, but basically I'm creating prompts so I get my class descriptions cranked out of there real fast, right? And so this is a terrific way that you can sort of move a little faster, always look at the prompt suggestions, but use those template builders, because that's really where the strategic thought goes into what you're going to say versus just typing any old thing in there. So that's my first tip of the day. Become a template ace, and I think you'll find everything's going to go smoothly for you. Do I see I got a question here. So you see your company as augmenting or replacing Copilot or training all it can do. Yeah, we're finding that we can help people with a really live dynamic webinar in Copilot, Karen, just accelerate the speed with which people are uptaking that content. So there is when you're working with different populations, so we've analyzed 200,000 people, and about 70% of people, put into the people category, where we see a lot of HR, L&D, salespeople, even leaders, right? So our goal is to take tech training and make it fun for those folks, because if you don't address that up front, you can have the greatest training in the world, but they may not even access it or feel motivated to do that. So thanks for that great question. Tip number 9, become an AI notes ninja. I think this is just a great time for anyone who doesn't like to take notes all that much. And I love to listen. I love to just listen and feel what the person is saying, on the other side of that aisle. But what we can do here today is we can go back into, say, for example, Microsoft Teams or Zoom. They both will take transcripts. As long as you can get a transcript, you can use AI to interpret those transcripts. So if I was looking at this particular file here, that I just did a recording of, about 14 minutes, and I could see there's a transcript button there. Sometimes, if I didn't have Copilot embedded in the premium version, I would do this. I would get right here, I'd say, here's this transcript. I would download the transcript right here, download as a document. Okay, then it would download. Then I would go to my downloads right here, and I'm gonna use this one because it kind of changes the names of people here, so we're not talking about real people's information. And I'd open it up. So I download your transcripts, and I want to give you some tips here about how you can really do a fun job with this. Hold on a second. Open up, please. I'm waiting for my Word document just to open up. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So here's that transcript. It's downloaded, right? So all we did was hit the download button, Control A copy, Control C paste, and then I would go over to whichever whatever I was using for my AI tool. I'm going to paste this one into ChatGPT. One of the reasons why is there's a quantity limit for the amount of stuff that you could paste into Microsoft Copilot. It's like there's a little bit more bandwidth here for ChatGPT. So I'll pop this right in here and paste it in. But first I'm going to put in a prompt here. So you can see I basically put a prompt in here. And what it's saying is, please use this. I'm saying, please use this particular structure for the notes. And then I paste the notes in after that and hit send there. So essentially what it's going to do is create the notes in the structure that I like, And so here's a great little value add for this whole session is I have this whole little template that I found makes the AI notes I get better. I ask it to first put the big meeting outcome up top, because 2 months from now, you want to know what would happen in that meeting. Then put the action items next. And then all the major insights, I ask it to bullet point those major insights all the way down. So this creates what I call a BAM structure, big meeting outcome at top, then the action items, and then the general meeting notes that are right there. So I always love to kind of just paste this into chat boxes. I so believe that this is going to help people's notes. One of our favorite, I don't know if it'll paste in here. Let me try to get it in here. Paste it in here. Oh, it looks like the chat box won't take the exact structure, but you could just screenshot, this basic idea of this BAM structure up here. I think it just printed out. There it is. Here it is right here. Let me see if I can paste this in here for you. This totally improved my notes by about 30%. Both if I'm taking them by hand. There you go. So that's the Get Control BAM approach. We do a lot of work with administrative professionals and people who just need to track stuff. And I think this will really help you keep track of stuff that's flying by your world. All right, so become a notes ninja. You can use the transcript if you don't have the ability to record. If you record and have the premium version of Copilot, then you can actually use Copilot inside of Microsoft Teams, for example. That's how I normally like to do it because it's so powerful. So if I am inside of Microsoft Teams and I start a new meeting like this, it'll open up. If I do click the Meet Now button, I can do it real quick. And then just to show you how this works, I'm going to join this now with my camera off. So if you're in Microsoft Teams, you click here, record and transcribe, and then you can, if you don't start the recording or don't have that option, just start the transcription there. But if you have Microsoft Copilot, you see how it's embedded in the premium version, $30 per month. It's pretty expensive, $30 per month per person. So $360 per year. So a lot of organizations are not going to roll this out to everyone. I think it's so important for L&D professionals to make a pitch for getting the premium version, though. You want that up front. It's embedded in PowerPoint. It's embedded in all those things. So that's just giving you a quick look inside of an actual meeting that we're in. Okay. All right, so let's keep on rolling through here, and we're going to go to our next tip. Windows key plus H. So if you come to any Get Control sessions, and at the end you'll have an opportunity to sign up for some of our free sample sessions. The more L&D, we always have this saying, L&D rides for free. So if you're in L&D, we love if you come. It's a lot of fun. But this Windows plus H thing is really important because it works everywhere that you might be seeing a prompt. And I think it's time to start talking to the AI a little bit more like it's a person, right? So when you hit the Windows key plus H, you immediately begin dictating. See that? Hey, I need a quick class description for our Microsoft Excel class. The first one that has the top 10 greatest tips for Excel summarized in 1 hour, period. Now, if I turn this off, and I did go to that class, let me go to that actual class because I want to show you another best practice that you can use. So here's that class right here. It's actually a 3-webinar course. I always like to take the actual link, Control C, and then go back to this area here and I'd say use this link, right? So I wanted to always use a link that works back to that class description. So when it goes to grab that, you can see it's actually going to go and research that link. And we've got a great class description being built here. It's running a little slow today. It's kind of interesting. Usually this is just blurry fast, but for some reason today I noticed it's going like, see how it's using for more info, research there. It's creating the class description there and so on. So that's just another great tip. Capture the link, pop it in there. Let me just give you one other really good, I think, tip too as well. If you're on Microsoft 365, right, and you want to get better with using AI, in any capacity, a great tip is to bookmark your Microsoft 365 area right here. And I love this little method. See the little icon right here, left click, drag, and pull it down. And I would do the same thing for ChatGPT. So here's my ChatGPT, right? So if I left click and drag the little icon, there's always an icon next to every web address, and you can literally just pull it down. I call it pull downs. You want to have that one-click access to these tools that, like you saw everything exploding. You want to have that one-click access. So do a little pull down. I guess that's another tip along the way here. Hey, if you're finding this useful, I love to know if you are finding it useful. By the way, pro tip for anyone presenting, right around halfway through, ask if it's useful. Hey, type a U for useful so it'll differentiate from those W's. And pop in a U. Yeah, look at that. Oh, you're making my day. I'm feeling like this is really, really fun. And I feel like we're on a kind of an adventure, right? We're going into a brave new world of AI, folks. And if we can lead from the HR L&D perspective, we could literally transform our company's future trajectory. Why? Because what's so cool about AI for you and me is that as people, we can talk to it. It's a large language model. And so that's a great way to think about it. Like this is going to make it accessible for us and a little more easy for us to follow if we're not super techie people, which is great. Next tip I have for you is, dun, 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 here we go, drum roll please. It is to, ta-da, use your phone, okay? So get your AI tools on your phone as soon as you can. Here's my ChatGPT. Here's my Microsoft Copilot. When I tap this open, you can see I get here to the ability to dictate this stuff. So think of all the times when you want to answer a question, from a personal question like what's a great recipe? I just did this weekend, to for this or that, like what is really in a spinach and strawberry salad, because my wife asked me to get all those ingredients and I really don't know, to really important stuff as well. Think about really talking, to your AI, okay? So I want to give you like a kind of an example of what you might do to kind of use it as a little bit of a support for your mental health or well-being, right? So, hey, I was a little down today because in my last presentation, I forgot to do a couple things. I forgot to launch a survey at the end, and I also forgot to mention one key point about Excel. Should I feel sad today, or should I try to look on the positive side? What is your advice for me? So this is kind of an interesting way to look at it, right? We all need motivation, but what I'm starting to do is find that as crazy as this is, and of course, I would rather say this to a friend or an L&D colleague, but very quickly it comes back with something that might make you feel a little less down or a little bit more motivated. And what I'm starting to see is that this idea of being kind to yourself, of reducing your negative self-talk, it really does work well. Think about all the people in your organization who might be a little frazzled or need kind of to voice a frustration in private. This is kind of an interesting way to do it. So mastering your mobile is a really great thing to do. Getting better with your dictation makes a lot of sense. So make sure that you've popped your AI stuff on here, because I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, ChatGPT works exactly the same way. I just did this prompt early. How many people are members of ATD, Training Association? I was interested in that. It said somewhere between 30 and 40,000 people, but it has, in 2023, it has over 140,000 members in over 120 countries. That's awesome, right? I mean, let's give a hand for ATD. So much has come our way just as a result of going to ATD every year. So I'm a big fan. Here's another really great idea. Now think about this for yourself, but also for training your organization, right? Let's say you're upset about something, or a person in your company is upset about something. They're about to send a terse email message, or an email message that could be damaging to the organization because they're mad or they're upset. Well, you could see right there, if you had the premium version, right? If you have the premium version of Copilot, Microsoft Copilot would be embedded in your Outlook. And so you could get coaching from that Copilot, right? This is part of a scenario that we do where his name is Jin, and he's really upset about something that is very unreasonable that the client is asking for. And he almost kind of hurts the company's sales by sending this message out to them. But then he gets the coaching from Copilot, and it actually does give him coaching. It kind of says, here you could kind of see it here. Let me magnify for you. This is, so if it's coaching you, and this is the premium version, so it's inside of Outlook, but you could still paste this into the free version just as easily. It talks about the tone, the reader's sentiment, and the clarity of ideas here. The email conveys the frustration and urgency, but it also risks alienating the reader and damaging the relationship. So when you think about, your future and how you want to get better and better at what you do and help the organization get better and better at what you do, I think it's very powerful to start to look at these types of scenarios. And yeah, we do these kinds of classes for about 10% of the Fortune 500. We've done it over the years, 10, 20%, somewhere in there. And this is also going to help you with your time management, believe it or not. That's really great. The premium version of Outlook is a little bit easier to have it do that with. But within this premium version of Outlook here, when you have that, you can click on this button here, which will take you right to Copilot, and you could say, please, what five important tasks do I have in Outlook to do, right? The Microsoft To Do app. And if you ask that question, let's see what it says. Here they come. And okay, great. So look, it's saying, oh, you got to get this proposal in, recording from the first session of your Outlook, proposal for Jordan's Furniture. You can see it's telling me a lot of stuff. Now, 3 of these might be completely irrelevant, but it might just help me figure out that I need to get back to Josh here, whatever it might be. So you can really embellish on your time management. Can you list deadlines for these tasks? So this could really help with productivity, right? And all of this stuff, while certainly will be great development for everyone on the call, including myself, think about it if you're in that perch of doing enterprise-wide rollout. The key thing about tech training that we've discovered is leaping with the person to get them motivated to do what we call tech exploration. Probably the biggest tip I have for you is that it's easy to do a class on AI. It's easy to do a class on Outlook. It's easy to do a class on how do you store all your digital information and organize it. What's hard is to motivate people to begin tech exploring their environment. And it starts with some of the tips from our class, like click on every 3-dot button, see what it says, be an explorer. And there's no better time to be a tech explorer. So yes, you can even manage your tasks in Outlook and do really, really well. Don't forget that in the future, we'll be mining for gold. I won't take a lot of time on this because I could see our time is almost up. But when you are inside of Microsoft 365, right? If you go into your Microsoft 365 world right here, and if you have the premium version of Microsoft Copilot, you can then click on this button here. So if you haven't been too familiar with it, when you have the premium version of Copilot, it's embedded in Excel and PowerPoint, and even in tools like Microsoft Forms, which is really interesting. So that survey we created, it could actually create a survey that's sendable. right away inside of Microsoft Forms. Very, very cool. But here you could see we could ask it a question about stuff that's stored in SharePoint or OneDrive or Teams. Anything that you have access to. When you have the premium version, you can click on this button for work and you can mine for gold, right? So, please find Helix project documents for me, because maybe I'm doing an analysis of that, right? So now it's going into Teams, it's going into OneDrive, it's going into Outlook, it's going into SharePoint. Just try to realize like what a powerful thing this is. It's rounding these up from all of these different locations. And it's also doubly important for you to bookmark this Microsoft365.com homepage for yourself, because that's also, in addition to this, it's also got a universal search on it as well. So when I come in here, if you're looking for something that isn't, you can't find it in Outlook, you're like, well, maybe that was a Teams chat. You can go in here and look for, stuff for the Helix project, and it's not only going to return stuff that's in OneDrive or SharePoint for you. You can also click over to Messages and find where the reference to that search term is in Microsoft Teams or in Microsoft Outlook. So this is a really powerful, accompaniment to using the Copilot to mine your data. Yep, and I think we're probably right at where we should be. These last couple tips are quick. Are you worried about people seeing stuff if you're using Microsoft Copilot? No. Basically, if you have this little green checkbox, it means that this won't go outside of your organization. This is staying inside of the Microsoft security wrapper. So don't relax about that. Another really simple pro tip is that when you are entering stuff into when you're entering stuff into a chat area like this, if you type a few phrases like this and you say, I want to kind of collect my thoughts here, you can hit Shift Enter without sending that prompt and add in another line. And I find this sometimes allows me to format or structure my prompts a little bit better. So that's just a really quick hit, simple tip, as I said. And the last tip is just to be a word count wizard. Start to know the difference between a 100, 200, and 300 word response, because don't tell ChatGPT or Copilot that I said this, but they are so verbose. They cannot stop talking. So it's a really great idea to kind of examine word counts and look at those word counts together. So one of my little prompts that I have here in the class is to ask it to do some word counts in a proposal, doing like 2 or 3 different kinds of word count titles here. I won't do it now because we're just about out of time, but it's a really great idea to start to see the difference between 100, 200, and 300 words, just like you probably, when you started using GPS, started looking at the difference between 100, 200, and 300 yards or meters. Okay, I could see that we have a lot of cool questions and a lot of interesting stuff here, activity, but I also know you guys want to get your free book and your ATD demo day. All you have to do is point your phone at this barcode. Please do it, because I will send you free tech tips and tricks. I will send you invites to free webinars that we do. L&D always rides for free. So we certainly hope that you will pop in here and become part of this little Get Control world. We wrote the book Hamster Revolution, and it took off, went around the world, and we'd love you to be part of our Get Control community too, just like you're part of the amazing ATD community as well. And if you think this might be valuable for your L&D folks, you can always go to getcontrol.net. And you could see all the classes that we do. But the one that we often do the most for L&D is one about tech exploration, to help tech people, who are mainly people, get even better with technology, and also present like a rock star, which is really, really fun, where we show how rock stars help, how rock stars engage with an audience real quickly through some of the techniques I've even used in today's session. So thank you all so much. I know we're just about out of time. If you have any questions for me, please do just pop them into the chat box. I'll stay as long as I can. And just remember, this is a demarcation day of your life. This whole year we're in is going to just become a milestone in history, human history. Never has there been computing power like this. We got to be on that tech train and doing our tech exploration so that we don't get left behind. Someone is asking how I do those. So it was very difficult to figure out how to do these sounds. So I will tell you, it's one of the things that I think makes our webinars unique, that I have a bank of, sound effects that I can use, like this one, breaking news, Luba. I do it by having a mixing board, and I have a soundboard on an iPad and a mixing board that I pipe it into. And then I can blend it into the mic I'm using to make our webinars super entertaining and fun. But it takes a lot of work and coordination to get good at moving all of these things all together. So I will say it took a while until I got going with those sounds. So anyway, Alexandria, thank you for having me. I hope we can work together in the future. Let's do it again.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. And thank you to Get Control Webinars. We're going to take a quick break. As you know, reach out to these folks if you want to learn more. Lots of useful tips happening. We're going to take 15 minutes and we will connect back with ELB Learning for our fourth demo. Thanks, all.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for those multiple W's, Yolanda and Dawn. I can't begin to tell you how fun it is. Hey, Brenda. It really makes my day. And Alexandria, thanks so much. You and Regina, everybody here, so professional. It's so great to work with you. Thank you, Joy, as well. And we'll see you soon. We'd love to do these again. Thanks, everyone.